Now, let me take this opportunity to welcome all of you for being here today. It is a very special day. We're here to recognize three very important individuals who have completed all the requirements of our Montgomery County Adult Drug Court Treatment Program. For them, it's been a long road, or at least it seems like it anyway. Sometimes that road wasn't necessarily always smooth, but we've been able to do a lot to accomplish through their hard work and perseverance to get us here today for their graduation. So it is a very special day for us. First, I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize some special guests that are with us. We have Mr. Craig Meadows, Montgomery County Administrator. We have Carol Edmonds, Montgomery County Assistant County Administrator. We have Ms. Biggs from the Montgomery County Board of Supervisors. Nice to have you. Mr. Fichkowski, ex-trooper, I should say, trooper retired. We have our Sheriff Hank Pardon, Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. He's with us today. Chief Mark Sisson from the town of Christiansburg. We have Chief Anthony Wilson from the town of Blacksburg. We have Captain Brian Rowe from the town of Blacksburg. We have Ms. Mary Pettit, Commonwealth's Attorney. We have Mr. James Pritchett, New River Valley Community Services Executive Director. We have Wayne Tucker, our District 28 Deputy Chief Probation Officer. Randy Matney, retired Chief from the 28th Probation Office. Eileen Mahan, Montgomery County Animal Care and Adoption Center Director. She's very important. A lot of the community service that you'll hear about is performed at the animal shelter, and they really enjoy that. Della Mills, Montgomery County Animal Care and Adoption Center. Laura Blevins from Senator Kane's office. Angie Hall from Congressman Morgan Griffin's office. And Harry Collins from the Christiansburg Town Council. Nice to have each of you there. And I do want to take this moment to thank each of you for your help, your both financially and your willingness to support our treatment program. I want to recognize all the members of the community service boards that's here. Or do we have anybody from the community service board? I want to thank you all. Also, I'm going to ask everyone from the drug court team to stand, if you would, please. Come on, guys, and everybody stand. Little do you know how much work they really put in on a daily basis to make this work. And I want to recognize them. I really need to recognize Lori and Rita. They're our two main engines of this drug court program. Without them, we would be still at the train station. But they do a wonderful job, and we appreciate that. And lastly, I want to recognize Judge Long. He's going to be our keynote speaker. It was his impetus that started this program about 2 years ago. 4 years ago. Here? In Pulaski. I will tell you a little secret, little does anybody know. When I first took the bench in 2000, drug courts were sort of starting around the Commonwealth, and or starting around the country. And we actually tried to get a drug court. They sent me to Panama City in Florida for a week. They sent me to Los Angeles for a week. And they sent me back to Fort Lauderdale for a week. All nice places to visit. So sort of train us into how to become and run a drug court treatment program. At that time, we were not granted the funds that were needed by the federal government to open ours. And so the concept remained stagnant for about 16 years until Judge Long then again took it upon himself to sort of get it up and going. And we've now got it going for, at least here, for about 18 months. And we have our first graduating class. But I do want to thank each of you for coming to spend today. And if you get an opportunity, congratulate these three people for the hard work that they've done. At this point, I'm going to call on Mr. Leroy Robinson. He is a peer recovery specialist, and he is a graduate of the Pulaski County Drug Court Treatment Program. And he's going to introduce our keynote speaker to you. Leroy.
Wow. Wow. A lot of people. This is truly a phenomenal, undeserving privilege and honor to be able to do this. So before I even say his name, our speaker, he serves as a judge in the 27th Judicial Circuit of Virginia and sits primarily in Montgomery and Floyd counties. He served as a chief judge of the 27th Circuit from 2013 to 2015. He was appointed to the circuit bench in 2012. He served as judge of the Montgomery County Juvenile and Domestic Relations District Court of Montgomery County, which is where I met him first, from 2005 to 2012. This champion was born and raised in Blacksburg, Virginia. He received his undergraduate degree from Virginia Tech and his law degree from the University of Richmond. He was engaged in the general practice of law in Blacksburg for 29 years prior to being appointed Juvenile and Domestic Relations District Court Judge of 2005. This pioneer has helped to establish adult drug treatment courts in Pulaski, Floyd, and Montgomery counties. He is recognized as a strong advocate in Virginia for drug treatment courts as an alternative to incarceration. Our very own has been recognized as a leader in law in 2016 by Virginia Lawyers Weekly. And before I say his name, I just want to say that, and now I don't know exactly how the particulars went when him and another individual ran into each other at Wendy's. These two individuals showed up to get a 4 for $4. Seriously, but they was there for lunch, and they didn't talk politics, they didn't talk religion or weather. They talked about saving lives. And these men came together and pioneered and piloted the first drug treatment court in Pulaski, which I was honored and privileged to be a part of. They saved not only my lives, but the lives of my children. So this is bigger than just any individual here. This is a community engagement, and this individual has been a champion of saving lives for years. I first encountered him in juvenile and J&D court in Montgomery. It wasn't a good encounter, but his reputation preceded him. Then I seen him again when I asked for a bond reduction. He said I was lucky to have a bond. And I had the audacity to see him again, and I called this man crazy, the nerve of me. And even with all of that history, he still allowed me into his program because he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So if y'all will, stand and give this man an applaud. The Honorable Judge Marcus H. Lyon Jr.
Thank you, Leroy. Leroy has been an inspiration to all of us, and he is truly a man who has made our drug courts a success. He's talked all over the country about his background, and he's an inspiration. And I appreciate that. I'm not sure that was all deserving. First time I think in this courtroom, anybody's ever clapped for me, I know that. But I thank you for asking me to speak today. As most of you know, I'm very passionate about drug courts, drug treatment courts in this state. And I know that we've had some great success here in our 27th Circuit due to the collaboration of the counties and the various entities. And this graduation, and we've had several in Pulaski and Floyd, and it truly touches my heartstrings and my soul. It really does. And I'm not getting emotional. I'm just acting like I am. But after hearing Leroy, it just truly, like I say, touches my heart and soul. And it's a great day to have this graduation because we know we've helped people through their addiction, and they've helped themselves. These are strong people. All four of them are extremely strong people. They can beat the addiction. They can beat most anything. And I think you need to be there to understand that. You know, I stand up here, and it was about 40 years ago, I stood a lectern in the old courthouse as a young lawyer, and I really love to hold on to these lecterns. And when they don't have them, I'm getting really nervous. We don't have lecterns up on the bench, but I got things I can hold on to. So anyway, so if I hold on to it, I'm pretty tight. So that's because I'm not the most comfortable speaking, even though I've done it for a long time, I guess. You know, as I stand up here and look around the lectern and all the people, and you know, life's kind of like a roll of toilet paper. The closer you get to the end, the quicker it goes. So the last few years have been quick. And as Leroy said, you know, I know y'all went to Florida and California and all that on drug courts. Well, I went to the Wendy's out here in Christiansburg and ran into James Pritchard, and then we started talking, and next thing I knew, the Community Service Board had us a drug court, you know, and so, and then, no, it was a family drug court, wasn't James, that we talked about, and it was there, and it worked very good for children in foster care and families, kids in foster care. And then I went on the circuit bench, and ran into him in Wendy's in Pulaski. Here we are at a drug court in Pulaski. So Wendy's is a good place to start. Let me just get into it. I'm going to kind of talk in general about drug courts, and maybe a little eclectic, but I want to say some things, and I'll try to get through it fairly quickly. You know, the United States has 5% of the world's population, but we have 95% of the world's prescription drugs. Is that amazing or what? We get things here in this country, Europe, not even going to get a prescription for. So that in itself is very telling with our drug problem. In 2018, we had over 80,000 deaths as a result of drug overdoses. And that's unbelievable. And you know, why isn't this a national emergency? You know, we've got this wall somebody wants to build on our southern border, and it's a national emergency. We've got 80,000 people that die of drug overdoses. That is a national emergency. If we had somebody invade us and kill that many people, if we had an epidemic and kill that many people, you can bet it would be a national emergency. So we need to fight addiction a lot more than we need to do some other things in this country, like build a wall. We need to find alternatives to what goes on with the addiction problems. You know, we also need to hold drug manufacturers and healthcare providers more accountable. A lot of drugs come out of those. You know, you think of the dark alley and the drug pusher and all that, but it's the people in white coats and manufacturing and making a lot of money. And we need to hold them more accountable. And I don't see it's happening. Started to file suits against them. They've had some tremendous fines against them, but still we need to do more than what we're doing. And addiction is a disease. It needs to be treated as such. And I am going to be the first to tell you, and this may sound funny coming out of my mouth, but incarceration is not the answer, and we need to find alternatives to that. And here are 4 prime examples of what the drug courts can do. And it's really a collaborative effort of our community. I see the law enforcement, the police, the deputies, Christiansburg, Blacksburg Police. I see the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and they they're invested in this drug court as much as anybody, and they want it to work, and it's just wonderful how we collaborate. And basically, you know, the Commonwealth's attorney is the gatekeeper of the drug court. They just pick the people that come in, and then the defense attorneys recommend to the Commonwealth's attorney, and then the people get assessed by the Community Service Board, and then hopefully they enter into the drug program. And you know, county administration here in Montgomery County has been wonderful in helping us with housing, and so it's a total collaborative effort of our community. Probation and parole, they've been wonderful. Dana's great working with us. I'm going to say some names, but I wish I could say everybody's name. But we just need more alternatives within our judicial system, and that's to fight addiction. Foster care is another thing that we need to think outside the box. Our programs have been in existence for years and years and years, and we need to start changing those things in our state. Mental health, don't get me started on that, but in any event, in probation and parole is very much vested. And I have to mention one other name because he's the one, Leroy, that got me going down shaking hands with everybody in drug court. Randy Matney, he shamed me into doing that. So in the first drug court we had, I went down, but we went to visit a drug court in Galena, Missouri, and the judge shook hands with everybody. And Randy says, you got to do that, and I did it. So anyway. And the circuit judge is also a very important part of the drug court. And I laugh because we're really kind of like a masthead on a boat, some wooden head up there that doesn't move. But anyway, I know Judge Turk does a great job. He's got a great personality for it. And in a way, we are the putative head of the drug court because I think the participants see us in a different light. We want to help them. We don't want them to go to jail. I don't want anybody to go to jail anyway, anytime. But we don't want them to go to jail, then they do see us in a different light. And we are rooting for them every day for them to beat their addiction. So, and I think that's important to them, even though the real workers are community services, probation, parole, law enforcement. They all do a great job. What do drug courts do? We furnish structure and support to the participants. The structure is intense supervision. In our community service board has a multitude of programs, treatment programs that help people. And first, when I thought, I was going to be this great prescriber of treatment, and anyway, but I had one thing. If I didn't think the drug problem was so bad, and another, and then I get informed. Let us pick the treatment. That's what we do, and that is what they do, community service board. So they took my license away to prescribe treatment. But anyway, they do such a great job. And the support, structure and support. Support, we are there every day. We have peer review, we have sponsors, and so that gives people support that they've never had. They've never had the structure. I think you have to agree, the structure and the support that the drug court provides. And drug court as well helps, it reduces crime, saves money. That's the lesser of everything, but it provides better treatment outcomes. We have great success. We have about a 15% recidivism rate nationwide. And it turns burdens into taxpayers. And it equips our participants with the tools to lead productive lives rather than productive crimes. And one person's name I have to mention, and I don't mean to discriminate in any name at all, but Laurie Trail has done a wonderful job with our drug courts in our community service board, our circuit. And she's done more, and I've observed this for about 5 or 6 years now. She has done more for drug courts in Virginia than any other one person. And I often think there are 3 Laurie Trails because everything she does. There are not 3 of you, there's 1. But it's amazing what she does. And she has helped start drug courts in Montgomery, Pulaski, Floyd, Giles, Radford. I know she was very integral in our family drug court. She consults with drug courts and other community service boards and other circuits. So it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And I know when we started these, Randy Matney was really, and I'm glad you're here, Randy. It's always good to see you. Rosemary Sullivan was acting head of community services. She was wonderful in starting. James Pritchard was wonderful in starting. But and it's amazing. These are the people, our community service board, our probation and parole, they help people that can't help themselves. And, before I was a juvenile judge, I didn't even know about that side of the county. I got into juvenile court, foster care, dependency, and anyway. But these are people that are unknown to most of our population that really make our society what it is, and they really, really help people. And we're lucky in our circuit and in this part of Virginia. Drug courts provide hope to the people who enter into it. Without hope, we die. You know that? Hope is the one thing that we all have that keeps us going. Sometimes it's a lot of hope, sometimes it's a little hope. But without hope, we're nothing. Also, and I'm not saying this I hope in any way that's going to get me in trouble, but if it does, it's okay. But faith is very important to recovery from addiction, from any disease for that matter. I've seen friends that have had terminal cancer, and they've either gotten cured or they've gotten through it, lived a lot longer. Same thing with addiction, their faith. And it doesn't matter what your faith is. It can be any faith. It can be from Muslim to Christian to Catholic to Judaism. I'm leaving some out, but any faith is my point. And as they say, hope is a parent of faith. So our faith is important in getting through these things. You know, when I see on some federal court, I don't know, usually when they say faith-based is unconstitutional, wrong. Faith helps us get through, and it helps us get through the diseases, and especially addiction. Also, you know, part of our treatment, we have what we call MAT, medically assisted treatment. And when I first got interested in drug courts, I was very opposed to medically assisted treatment because I'm just substituting one thing for another. And then you can ask Laurie and Dana, I really was about to bust a gut before these people could get their medically assisted treatment. I wanted them on it so bad because I was afraid they would relapse. And I said, well, have they gotten it? They've been assessed and bought, and anyway. And so now it's very important in the recovery. And we have some drug, naltrexone, Vivitrol, that really help people get through this period. And you know, we sit up here and we talk about drugs, and everybody says opioids, but we have a meth problem here too. And one of the things that maybe I'll be a little critical, but methadone is kind of one thing you help wean off. Most of the medically assisted treatments for opioids, but I'm not really big on methadone. But in any event, but it does help. Not always, but it does help. Other thing is mental health co-occurs, mental health issues co-occur 75% of the time with addiction. So the treatment needs to include a mental health aspect. And I know our community service board is wonderful in providing both things. I was never very good at prescribing the mental health treatment, but anyway, but in any event, but we do need to think about that. And hopefully we'll make some headway into mental health alone itself, but it co-occurs 75% of the time with addiction. So when we have the participants, we hopefully can take care of that. Most people that have addiction issues have had traumas in their life, and that leads to the mental health. Anyway, but I'm kind of bouncing around. I want to get out with several things. And one thing, and people disagree with me, probably a lot in Floyd County especially, about marijuana. You know, all we see is legalized here, legalized there. I can tell you, and I think these people will tell me, that marijuana is a gateway to harder drugs. And I've been involved with the drug courts for about 15 years, and almost to a person, they started on marijuana. Correct? Anybody not start on marijuana? And sometimes I'll go, and I've been on panels with Leroy, who's a wonderful speaker and a wonderful person, and I learn a lot more listening than I do talking, so I'm not learning much up here today, except when I hear the other people. But marijuana is a gateway, and I hope everybody remembers that. Maybe it's not in itself, if we could absolutely say that that's all it is, maybe it's different. But we have a really hard time regulating that as it is. One thing that we all want to do, and that is we all want to be happy, right? Be happy, yeah. So there's several ways we can be happy. And if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. Okay, that's fair, right? If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. Hope you catch a lot of fish. If you want happiness for a month, get married. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. And if you want happiness for a lifetime, help others. And that's what they have learned to do. We all have learned to do in here. And that's the point. Helping others brings true happiness. There's nothing to be insinuated from the marriage comment. And I want to congratulate Bentley and Susan and Barry. If they have the strength to graduate from this drug court, they have the strength to do about anything you want to. And you can, Leroy can, and you have. And the sky's the limit. It is. And I know one time when I was a young lawyer, I was talking to a lawyer in Roanoke about saying, I wouldn't want to fight my way out of the corner with that guy, that other lawyer. And he says, I wouldn't want to be in the corner with him. But I would want to be in the corner with any of those people. And Laurie, too, she'd be like me. So I know we get out of it. But, and y'all have the strength to do anything you want. And what they say, if you can believe in your dreams, and they may happen, but it may come true. But if you believe in yourself, they will come true. So to get where you are, you believe in yourself. And when I see people go through the drug court, there's some point in time that they do start believing in themselves. And then I know, we got it, they got it. So anyway, and I'll just end, and I appreciate your patience with what we use in drug court in Pulaski, we always do, but for y'all, the best is yet to come. And I wish you the best of luck.
So my name is Lori Trail, and I work with New River Valley Community Services and serve as the drug court coordinator. And I am just going to briefly talk about what it means to say that they've graduated from drug court. So what have our 3 graduates had to do? I do think there is a perception among some that it's easy, that this is an easy alternative for them. And I'm just here to say that what they've accomplished and to be here today has not been easy. They've worked very hard to be where they are today, and we're very proud of them. They have each been with us approximately 18 months. They have progressed through 5 phases of the program, and in those phases they had goals specifically related to their recovery that they had to work on. They're required to participate in treatment services for their substance use disorders. They are required to complete 100 hours community service in order to give back something positive to the community. They have done so at area, county nonprofits in the locality as well as churches. They are required to obtain employment so that at the end they are tax-paying citizens of Montgomery County. They have each had a giving back project. Bentley arranged and planned a toy drive for Christmas for our drug court participants who have children. He collected 37 gifts so children in the program could benefit for parents who struggled to give their children Christmas. Susan and Barry worked together and worked with Petco and the Montgomery County Animal Adoption Center and they did a pet food and supply drive for the shelter. They collected 130 cans of dog and cat food, 10 bags of dry dog food, 25 toys, 9 bags of treats, and $31 in cash. And they've each demonstrated, I think most importantly, a sustained period of sobriety while they've been in the program and developed a strong, solid network and recovery plan that will hopefully assist them to live in recovery upon graduation. So again, we're very proud and are going to take this opportunity to recognize them, give them an opportunity to speak to you all, and we will start with Bentley Wood.
Wow. You know, it's the way I perceive a courtroom has changed drastically since the first time I came through a tunnel in shackles dressed in orange and was brought to one. And there are a whole lot of people. It takes a village to do anything worth having. And today I work in a recovery center as a peer recovery specialist, and it was, outside of my attorney, the first person who challenged me in ways that I'd never been challenged. I like to say he called my bullshit on a regular basis. Because I was pretty proud of what I believed. Because when I got arrested, I didn't think I had a drug problem. I had a legal problem. And it took some folks to help me understand that I had a legal problem because I had a drug problem. And I may never get another opportunity to do this, but I believe alcohol is the gateway drug, and because it's legal, it's not looked at in the way that it could be in terms of leading people down a path to be homeless, to eat out of trash cans, to steal and rob, to survive. And, you know, this program, I was very afraid I wouldn't get in the program, and I was equally afraid I would. And, you know, Dennis Nagel and Mary Pettit, you helped make this possible for me. Chris Alderman, Heather Custer, a lot of people. I see Christine and Christy and Rachel and Lori and a whole lot of other people that I met. Ed, sitting over here. that I met in the recovery community, which is invisible because we're anonymous. Without those and not standing in front of you. And that's the difference that drug court makes in lives. I have a relationship with my family that I've never had before. Sorry. Because I hid what I was doing and who I was for most of my life. And today I can look people in the eye and say, my name is Bentley, I'm an addict, but I'm in recovery and I'm proud of that. And when I started, I wanted nothing to do with religion. I found a spiritual higher power that I can connect with and a community of people in a religious institution where I felt welcomed. And it took every single one of these things. I remember the first time I met Leroy, I knew that he was the first person in drug court. Montgomery County didn't have one yet. It had been talked about with me, but so I wanted to be like Leroy. This was long before I ever had the opportunity to be in drug court. And I really appreciate each and every one of you being here today because, I appreciate what you said, Judge Long. Without hope, there is nothing. And that's what I found first. When this man, who I'm going to pick on you just a little bit, challenged me, and then there's a lady back there hiding who called my bullshit. And because they did that, I found a new way to live. I came to get out of trouble and found a new way to live. And today, I am in a position to help other people who are, I hope, able to find the same things. Thank you. This might be important. I might want this. Thank you. I'm not afraid to come in the courthouse now. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, so our next graduate is Susan Allen.
It's really an honor to be able to be in this program and just what it's done for my life and my family. When I first was meeting with Lori and she told me all the requirements and everything that I would have to do and just what was entailed in this program, I just bawled. I was like, this is too much. I don't know if I can do this. And here I'm standing, getting ready to graduate, and I'm just so proud of myself and all the people that have supported me along the way. And I just want to thank God for all my blessings, for my family, the people that he's put in my life. I want to thank Scott for holding my hand through life and just being a great friend and being so supportive. Mom and Dad, there are literally no words to describe what y'all mean to me. I know that it wouldn't be possible for me to be here today without you guys and the sacrifices that you've made for me. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you guys. Cynthia, you treat me like a daughter. I love you for you always listening to me and showing me so much support throughout the years. Pastor Mike, I'm beyond grateful for you. Where are you? I'm beyond grateful for you. All the little things that you've done in my life mean so much. Judge Turk, I thank you for being willing to do this program and really meaning what you say, that you really want to help us. And thank you for believing in us. Lori, you always take my calls no matter what. You always make me feel like you really listen. And I can't thank you enough. You're nothing less than a blessing from the Lord. Rita, you made me so nervous at first. But through this program, you've always pointed out my strengths and told me the things that I did well, and I thank you for that. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be here. That's all.
Okay, and so now we have our last but not least graduate, Barry Shepard.
Well, I just can't thank everybody enough that's in drug court and at the Peer Center and at the animal shelter. I enjoy doing my community service there. I just thank them all so much for believing in me and, you know, giving me a second start in life. It just means so much to me. You know, I just have so much more hope than I've ever had, and a future. I feel like I got a future more than I've ever had. Thank you. I know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Again, on behalf of the drug court, I want to thank all of you for being here. I hope what you've seen is that it takes a community, the whole community, for this to work. Not just a handful of people that meet every 2 weeks and discuss things with these people, but it takes all of you. And I think each of you should leave here today very proud and very happy about what your support for this program has accomplished. We have 3 now. We have many more to come. But again, without your support and your help, we wouldn't be able to accomplish this. But again, thank you all for coming today. We have a little food and beverage in the jury assembly room, and we hope all of you will stop in and say hello and talk to them and just sort of socialize for a little while. Again, thank you all again for all of your support for this program. I really appreciate it.